What's up, my fellow jewelers? Today we're making bam, bam. That's right, we're making a bracelet earring set. Ooh, I love them. They're so cute. Now, when I started to line up the beads and put in the pattern I wanted, I had 2 Bicone beads left that I wasn't going to use for the bracelet. So I was like, hey, why not make some matching earrings? I was like, sweet, we can make a bracelet earring jewelry set tutorial. So that's how we got this beauties. Oh my goodness, they are so cute. They're so easy. I can't wait to teach you how to make them. But before we get started, make sure you subscribe my channel and click that bell to get notifications because I'm all about the how-tos of jewelry making. I also do some project review for jewelry making supplies. So I want to teach you how to make these cute, sweet jewelry sets. So you and me, let's get started. Oh my gosh. All right, let's go. Let's get started. Woohoo! Let's get started making this bracelet plus matching earrings. I'm super excited. If you want to know the materials, what you're going to need, I put it all in the description below. So before you start making, make sure you check out the list, grab everything you need, and then come back to the video. Okay, so to get started, you are going to need to put your beads in a pattern. And so I have already laid out my beads. I have put a pearl, 2 bicones, pearl, 2 bicones, pearl, 2 bicones, and I laid that pattern out. Now, if you don't know what a bicone is, I love these beads. These were one of the first beads I ever used making jewelry. It's just pretty much 2 cones stuck together, and it kind of looks like a diamond shape. And so it's called a bicone, 2 cones, bi meaning 2. And so I have bicones. Again, if you don't want to use bicones, you can totally use another bead, maybe a smaller bead, maybe a smaller round bead. But I want to use bicones for this particular bracelet. The next thing you're going to do is you are going to make the dangle bead part. So you're going to grab your bead that you want to dangle off your bracelet. You're going to grab your head pin and you're going to put 1 loop on your head pin. So I'm going to cut off the excess wire. I want to make about a medium loop just because it's easier to put on the jump ring. And then I am going to do a 90-degree angle. I'm going to do a 90-degree angle. I'm going to grab my head pin right here and put it about maybe on the little smaller end and not in the middle. And I am going to curl it around. Now, I am not going to connect it yet. I'm actually going to open up just a little bit. Do you see that? I'm going to open up just a little bit because I'm going to put my jump ring on and then I'm going to close it up. And I'm even going to use my long nose pliers to close it and then kind of shift it so it's in the middle of the bead. I want to make sure that the loop is kind of making more the middle instead of one side or the other. So that's what you do is you get your bead, you make a loop, and then you put your jump ring on so that you can hang it on your bracelet. And so I have 8 of those. I've done that 8 times already. And so you can go ahead and pause the video and then do the rest of your beads. Now, for the next step, we're going to start assembling our bracelet. So we're going to start assembling. I'm so excited. I love assembling. So we're going to put our bead on, our round bead, and then I'm going to put 1 bicone bead on. And then the next, I'm going to put actually my dangle bead on next. So we're going to do round bead, bicone, dangle bead, and then the bicone bead. And again, these don't have to be bicones. I just think it's really pretty for this bracelet. And then I'm going to put my round bead on. So it's a nice little pattern. Now, I have 2 small bicone beads, but the rest are pretty big. I put 2 small bicones on this end and 2 small bicones on the other end. I am excited about this pattern. And then I'm going to do another bicone. And then I want to do my dangle bead. And then a bicone. And then another bead. And you're just going to keep doing that pattern until you put it all together. So go ahead and put the rest of your beads on. It's going to look like that pattern, and finish off putting all the beads on, and we will go to the next step. Okay, we have put on the last bead in this pattern. It is I just think this bracelet is so gorgeous. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is we need to assemble our lobster clasp. And we are going to put our lobster clasp on our jump ring. So I'm going to grab my jump ring and I am going to get one of my pliers, my long nose pliers, and then my round nose pliers, and I'm going to open it up, pulling opposite ways, and then I'm going to put my lobster clasp on, and I'm going to close it back up, making sure there's no gap, because if there's a gap, it's going to fall to your bracelet. So it looks pretty like it's one circle, which is what you want. And so now I am going to put my clasp on. So I'm going to take my crimping bead, and I'm going to put my crimping bead on. So I have my crimping bead. I'm going to put the jump ring through. That was my lobster clasp. And then I'm going to bring my wire around. I'm going to bring my wire around, and I'm going to put it back through the crimping bead. So I put it back through the crimping bead, and I am going to make sure I have a little bit of give. We don't want it completely tight on there. We don't want it completely loose either. It looks a little bit sloppy. And then I'm going to crimp it. So I have a little bit of, look at that, a little bit of give. So I have a little bit on here. I'm just gonna cut a little bit. I just want my wire to go through the first bead. I don't need to go through my second bead. So I'm just gonna cut a little off so it goes through my first bead. Do not cut it all off because it ruins the integrity of the bracelet. So cut it off. Yes, you can't even see the wire on that side. And then you're going to bring all your beads down. So there is no gap right here. There's no gap. And then I'm going to cut my wire, and I'm going to get another crimping bead. I'm going to get my crimping bead on, and then I'm going to get my other jump ring, and I'm going to bring my wire around my jump ring, and I'm going to put it back through my crimping bead. And here's a little tricky part. These are always tricky. This is not my favorite part. Do you see how there's a gap right here between the crimping bead and the bead? You don't want that. So grab a hold of your wire and pull it down so there is not a gap, and make sure, again, you have a little bit of leeway with your jump ring, and you're going to crimp it, and then you're going to cut a little bit off because I just went through my first bead. I'm going to cut a little bit off, and I'm going to put the rest of that wire through my bead. Now this is the hard part. I tell this in every video when I do this. This is the hard part. You just put it through. It takes time. Be patient and put it back through, because if you don't put it through, it's going to poke the person wearing it, and you don't want them to not want to wear it because it pokes them. And so, oh my goodness, there you have your bracelet. That is so pretty. I love it so much. Now, I had a few extra beads left over that there's just like 2 more Bicone beads. Why not make earrings out of it? So I'm going to show you how to make it super easy, super cute. All we're going to do is we are going to take our round bead, and I'm going to put my round bead on. I'm going to take my Bicone bead and put it on. So I've put them on, and we're going to make 1 loop. And you can do this with 2 beads on. You can do it with 3 beads on, 4 beads on, depending on how long your wire is. Super simple. We're going to cut the excess wire off. Make a medium-sized loop. Not too small, not too big. I'm going to cut the excess off. And I am going to, this is a little hard now because you don't want to bend between the 2 beads, but I'm going to bend the wire above the Bicone bead, do about a 90-degree angle, and then I'm going to loop it around. So I'm going to put it in the middle, and I'm going to loop it around. Now I'm going to put that down, and I'm going to open my shepherd's hook. I'm going to open my shepherd's hook. I'm going to put this bead with a loop on there, and I'm going to close it up so it'll never fall off. And that, my fellow jewelers, is how you make this bracelet earring set. Oh, I love them. I love them. I love them. I love them. They are so fantastic and super simple to make. You have to agree with me. I know some of you agree with me. If you do, give me a big old thumbs up, comment, share, like. I love reading your comments. I absolutely love it. Please put comments down below. I love reading them, except the, make sure they're nice. Make sure they're nice. And I also love seeing your creation. If you've been inspired by any of my jewelry making videos, if you make this bracelet, if you've made some earrings I did, or necklaces or whatever, I want to see pictures. And so send them to me via my Facebook Messenger. I want to see your pictures and celebrate with you. That's right. Ooh, I love seeing what you've made as well. Okay, so before we go, you know I love praying for you. You know I love praying for my viewers. And I felt this week that God wanted me to pray that you would know what he's called you to do. You know, he created us, he designed us, he created us to be loved by him and to love him back, but also he has a purpose. He has a purpose for your life. And I don't know if you've noticed in some of my videos, but I get really bloodshot eyes. And it's because I'm really tired. I'm super tired because the thing that God's called me to, this lifelong career plan that he's called me to, has been to help the poor. And I spend so much time, I spend so much energy, not only being a mom and making jewelry, but I spend a lot or most of my time really helping out those that can't make ends meet. And so I call companies up asking for their food they no longer use. We bag it up, we box it up, and we give it out to people in the community. They come to us and we give it to them free of charge. And we also pray for them. Like that is my heart, my passion. That is what God created me for. And so you'll notice on some of my videos, my eyes are super tired and bloodshot. It's probably because the week before we were really working hard to get food and to give it out. But I share this because I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what I was called to do before Christ, and that God creates all of us for a plan and a purpose. And if you don't know his plan and purpose, then I really want to pray for you because it is so fulfilling in my life. I love what I do. I love being a mom. I am a mom first and foremost, but after that, I love helping people. And actually last year, God brought in $400,000 worth of food in my life. I know that's a lot. Like, that's crazy, right? But only God could have done that because I don't make the monies to get that kind of food, to help that kind of people. It's only God and God alone. And in my lifetime, when Joel and I started the nonprofit, we've received over $3.5 million worth of food. And he can do amazing things. He can do the impossible. So I want to pray for you, okay? I want to pray that if you don't know what God's called you to do, I mean, you're calling it maybe a teacher, it may be a business owner, it may be a stay-at-home mom, like whatever your calling is, I want to pray that God would show you and that you would walk it out and feel fulfilled. All right. So Lord, I thank you that you not only designed us to be loved by you and to love you back, but you called us for a plan and purpose. We are not here on accident. We're not here just kind of walking around not knowing what we're doing. God, you have a plan and purpose for every single person. And so Lord, I pray for my viewers that they would know the calling that you have on their lives, that they would know the purpose that you have for maybe not their whole life, maybe just this season, what the purpose is for this season, what the purpose is for long-term or short-term, whatever, but you would show them and that you would make it clear and that you provide, God, you provide the resources, provide everything they need in order to fulfill their calling. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I love hanging out with you and I'll catch you on the next video. Bye!